Welcome back to the Talking Wednesday draft update. Now, it's me and Jack today, aka Worko. I think we're meant to be all three of us. Where's Jake? Jack?
I don't know. Good question. He might be walking his goldfish, or washing his hair. I don't know. He could be somewhere. If he doesn't appear, we need to find a really funny...
Lads, I never confirmed it, but we've had a big thread of organising this. Or I think he's hiding because he's scared about what's to come.
Yeah, I think he's about to get like the prison shower treatment with his with how it's gone for him in the draft.
You see, the problem we've got is I don't give Jake a choice. There's going to be a wild card at the end of this now, but because he's not turned up, I could choose to... There's a wild card of a choice of two options, and he hasn't confirmed his option with me. So I'm going to have to pick for him. Now, the question is, do I be nice or do I be strategic? Jack. Anyway, if you are new to this, this is the Talking Wednesday draft. Every single game is points on the line for one of the Talking Wednesday, all of the Talking Wednesday hosts. If you recall, last time we did this, Jack was in the lead. So the third phase, Jack won the third phase, and it put him overall in all the phases. Jack is currently leading with 489.25 points. I am in second with 384.5 points. Could I make that up today? We will find out.
Potentially.
Jake is trailing both of us with 238.5 points. I feel like I should dock him 100 points for not turning up today. But that is the situation. And I think it was early December we did that, or late November. So the first game we've got after that is Stoke. And then we've got quite a chunk. If you recall, we did things such as wildcards that would drop players after January. So after the January transfer window had closed, we dropped players. Do you remember who your player was that you had to drop?
I'm going to be really sad about it, but wasn't it Shea Charles? Did I have to drop?
It was Shea Charles.
Yeah.
So you have him for the first month of games, and then you drop him for... Do you know which player you gained?
Wasn't it Armstrong?
It was.
Was it Armstrong? I think, yeah.
Yeah, so you got Armstrong for Shea Charles because the rules were you either go into a position, if you swap a position, if we sign that position, you get the player in that position.
Yeah.
Jake, in that situation, dropped Famio. So at the end of January, he gets Hatuse for Famio, which is probably quite a good swap.
That's a very good, very good swap.
Me, I didn't get anyone in the position because I dropped Iorfa. So what I did is I put it into the 5 available players in the defensive positions, and I basically rolled it randomly with a random number generator because I thought that's the fairest way to do it rather than giving me more choice to pick. And just so everybody knows I'm not cheating, here's a small video of me doing that in real time. As you can see from that video, I got Liam Palmer, which I wasn't thrilled about when I realised that Liam Palmer wouldn't be scoring that high for me. And it'd have probably been better keeping Iorfa, given the situation is coming back and all that, isn't he? So, yeah, let's get into it. So, you feeling confident ahead of today, Jack? Do you think you'll be on top by the end of it?
I don't know. I don't know. Also, I really hope that for announcing that you got Liam Palmer in your team, I really hope that you use that clip of Jake going absolutely mental at from you know when he went absolutely mental when Liam Palmer scored that fourth goal.
God, that might be a bit of editing work, but we'll see if I can dig back into the archives.
But I'm a bit concerned. I think my lead might be crumbling a little bit because Armstrong has just been permanently on the bench, it seems, and has barely featured. So,
however, you might be saved. You never know because you do have Shea Charles until the end of January, and it's obviously only just coming up to the end of March now.
Yeah.
So could be only a couple of months damage in one position. However, You do also have a certain Max Lowe, who we know is very
great.
solid and is out for the season. So we'll see what your wild card is towards the end of this. So let's take you back all the way to the 21st of December. This was the first game that we didn't score on, basically, and it was Wednesday 2, Stoke 0. Now, for points, we talk about Mr. Solid. Jack, we'll start with you. Not you, Mr. Solid, Max Lowe. Max Lowe gets you 2 points for starting.
It's like
no
a
goals
teeny version of a superhero, Mr. Solid.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Pretty much. But he got you 7 in extras that day, because if you think about the extras, the clearances and the blocks, etc., they all add up for half points, and he gets 7 in total there. So Max Lowe in the Stoke game gets you 9 points. Jan Valery, again, it's the extras, but he also got an assist in that game, so his total in that game was 9.5. Shay Charles, the man that you're dropping at the end of January, 2 for starting, 4 for an assist, 3 for a rating, by the way, which is rare because it means you have to get over an 8 rated, and not many players have done that in a Wednesday shirt this season. He got 3 points for it, and he got 3 points in extras, so Shay Charles got you 12 points against Stoke. Jamal Lowe, just the 1 point, for just in case you need a refresher. You get 1 point if you're on the bench, even if you don't come on, but also you're likely to get 1 point if you come on and you don't get anything else. So a lot of players will come on at like 70 minutes. They don't get any extras because they don't get any scoreable points. They don't get an assist. They don't get a rating, basically. So they might as well have just stayed on the bench in terms of our rating. But sometimes in the likes of Pato, for example, here, who comes off the bench, so it's 1 point for being on the bench at the start, but gets a goal against Stoke, gets 5 points, which then pushes his rating up to above a 7. So you got 2 points for that, and then you got 0.5 in extras. So Pato comes off the bench and he gets you a total of 8.5 points that week. And then Michael Smith just gets you the 1 to round out for a 41-point week against, 41-point game alone against Stoke, Jack. So are you feeling confident going off that sort of high score straight off?
Now that I know in hindsight of fixtures that have happened and that I've got both Pato and Michael Smith, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I like that. I'm happy with that one.
I did message Jake a while back going, no, we're in trouble. Because you even acquired Pato. You didn't even have him to start.
Yep.
You've been lumped with players that have actually ended up doing really well for you rather than picking them. Let's go on to Jake that week. Now, this week is one of Jake's good weeks, which kind of sets you up for the rest of this video. Bernard was still playing at this point. He got 2.5 points for the week, which is a low-scoring week for Bernard. Beadle, remember we took pity on him and gave him Beadle for like half of December and the month of January. Well, that worked out for him this week because he got the starting 2 points. His rating was above 8, which again is rare for 3 points. He got 12.5 in extras and that's because he was man of the match as well as all the saves against Stoke. So Beadle that week got Jake 17.5 points. That's worth mentioning because he's also got Famio, Ingleson, Fusire, and Kabachi who weren't in the squad. So no points on any of those players.
Oh, nice.
And McNeil got him 1 point for being on the bench, which means in total he got 21 points that week. So you can imagine that's the theme of Jake's. Yeah, he's got a lot of players there. If you notice Fusire also left on loan, it's not looking great.
Maybe that's why he didn't show up. Maybe he knew it was going to go like that, and he didn't, and that's why he's not come. That's
why he's blanked us.
Yeah,
blanked us completely. I will check if he's all right after this. By the way, I won't be like, oh yeah, and we'll feel awful. But I know he's around because he sent me the document, so I know he's around. So I know something bad hasn't happened. I think he's literally just hiding. Bless him. That week got me 2 points for starting, 2 points in rating, 7 points in extra, so 11 points that week for Iorfa. Valentin was the player I got given to me in the recent wildcard changes. He unfortunately wasn't in the squad that day, no points. Bannon was a low-scoring week for him, just 3 points in total. But Josh Windass A 10-pointer.
Oh, bloody hell.
And that's mainly because he got a goal with everything else. Gassama. I got Gassama back, remember?
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, you did.
3 points total. Not great against Stoke there.
You're going to catch me up.
1.5 in points. So the total was 28.5 points. Borough. We're up next.
Oh.
So, Jack, you annihilated us that week. 41 points. And Matt, I was 28.5. Jake was like 21. So you did very well. Borough. I will just go through the main points. Max Lowe had a quiet week, 2.5 points there. Valerie, 11 points for you because of his goal there.
Oh, yeah.
In that. Shay Charles, 13.5 points because he got 2 assists in that game, along with everything else. Jamal Lowe started, but that's all he got you. He got the 2 points for starting. Pato, 1 point. Smith, 1.5, which meant you ended up that week getting 31.5 points. Jake, Bernard was out. Famio was out. Beadle got 3 points in total. Ingleson came off the bench, but he got a goal, which meant in total with his extras and his rating, got 8.5 points. So Ingleson saving Jake's week. Visere not in the squad. Kabachi on the bench. McNeil on the bench. 13.5 points for Jake that week. Myself, Iorfa got 3.5 points. Valentin got 1.5 points coming off the bench. Bannon got 3 points again. He had a couple of games where he was really dipping. Josh Windass, again, solid, gets a goal. 9.5 points in total that week. Not the high numbers, but keeping me in the race. Gassama, 2.5 points, low scoring week for him. And Ugbo, 1.5 points again, which is actually, unfortunately, one of Ugbo's highest scoring weeks because it gets worse for Ugbo. 21.5 points for me that week. So again, Jack, you win the week.
Excellent.
Preston. Max Lowe, 3.5 points for you. Valerie, 6 points. Shay Charles, 7.5 points there, which he was your highest performer that week because Jamal Lowe got 1, Pato got 1, Smith got 2.5. So you got 21.5 points against Preston. Do you remember the result, the score at Preston?
No, I don't.
It was
actually.
a 1-1 game, which is why there's no real standouts. Jake had a stinker. No points for Bernard, no points for Famio. Beadle got 2 points. Ingleson got 1.5 points. Fusire, no points. Kabachi, no points. McNeil, 1 point. 4.5 points for that game for Jake in total.
Excellent.
Now, Iorfa got Jake's entire total just for me. Iorfa that week got 4.5 points for me. Valentin got 4 points for starting in his extras. Bannon got 4.5 points on the upturn. Josh Windass, again, reliable, 9 points, 5.
Oof.
He got 5 points for the goal again. Gassama starting to creep up, 6 points. Ugbo, 2.5 points, having a good week, getting me 30.5 in total for that week. It's the first week I actually win. But yes, we're not basing it off weeks. It's all about the total, Jack.
Yes, it is.
Then we have the Derby game. I'm sure you remember this because you don't like Derby.
Oh yeah, I thought you meant oh boy, I'm so happy about the result.
County
I feel
Derby.
like it's the one thing me and Billy Sharp have in common because he hates them as well.
Max Lowe, ever reliable for you. 8.5 points that week. Valerie, no points, not in the squad. Shay Charles, 6.5 points. Jamal Lowe, 1 point. Pato, 1 point. Michael Smith coming on and getting an assist for 6 points, giving you 23 for Derby.
But Jamal Lowe scored at the end.
Nope.
Did he not? I swear Jamal Lowe scored at the end.
I looked into this. Is this the one where it went down as an own goal?
Oh, don't tell me I've been cheated out of that on a technicality.
You might have been.
No.
I've looked at. I'll have a look now. I'll double check it. We'll go into VAR here.
What, VAR?
By the way, before we do the final total of this, I am going to go through my whole document and recheck it all, just in case I've made any errors along, because there's a lot of data in this, as you can tell. But let's have a look. Maybe I have missed something.
Have I just VAR'd me into? Have I just VAR'd myself into a goal here? Oh my god!
Because Jamal Lowe's done nothing the whole season, mate.
Yeah, he's done barely anything, and then just
that one. Yeah, that's why it's probably memorable to you. So how have I missed that then?
You're practically every championship referee right now. Oh boy, you might have messed something up. Oh god, yeah, Pato. Yeah, I forgot about that. Pato was the one that assisted him. Two of my players. Yeah.
Right, Jack, I have corrected it.
Thank you.
Jamal Lowe got 8.5 points. Pato got 5.5. Smith got 6th, giving you that week a 35 total.
Thank you.
Very happy with yourself.
VAR check successful. Thank you.
I've had to correct every piece of maths in this document now as well, so that's fun. Bernard got 6.5 points for Jake. Famio didn't play. Beadle got 4. Ingleson with the assist, 11 points that week. Visiri, Kabache, and McNeil, no points. 21.5 for Jake that week. Myself, luckily, I still beat you this week because I had Barry Bannon and Gassama in the team. Who got me? I know what I've done.
Oh no, what have you done?
I'm looking at the wrong Derby game. You confused me. You.
Sorry. Oh God, yeah, the home fixture, the really boring home fixture. Yeah, that's
4-2. Where Wednesday won 4-2, and it wasn't the 2-1 where Jamal Lowe scored. So Jamal Lowe did get 1 point for you, and your total that week was 23. All of that for this.
We do like to throw a spanner in the works sometimes. It can't be boring. It can't be too smooth.
Jack's points were the same. Iorfa got me 6. Valentin got 1. Bannon got me 9.5 that game. Josh Windass got 7.5. Gassama. This is what was confusing when I realised we had the wrong fixture and Jack was talking out of his arse. 16 points for me that week. 2 for starting, 5 for a goal, 3 for an over 8 rating. Extras, he got 6. Included in that was 5 points for man of the match, so 16 points in total. Ugbo got 2 for starting. Total for me that week, 42 points. Millwall. Max Lowe got you 7. Valerie got you 16. Shay Charles got you 3.5. Jamal Lowe, Pato, and Smith got you 1 each. 29.5 for you against Millwall. Jake Bernard was still going. 6.5 points for Bernard. The only other scorers were Beadle, who got him 2.5 points, and Ingleson that got him 1 for a total of 10 that week. Iorfa for me against Millwall, 6 points. Valentin 1.5. Bannon 3.5. Josh Windass again with an assist, 7.5 total. Gassama 2.5. And Ugbo 2.5. He got an extra in that. So 23.5 for me. I've had to skip Coventry in the Cup, and I don't know why, but there's no data on it whatsoever. So it applies to us all. Like, none of us get anything for that, which might obviously be a thing that I don't think it'll be a thing, but I got rid of it. We pretended the Cup ended before Christmas.
Excellent.
No Coventry in the Cup. We now move on to where the swaps really come in. So, no, we're not. You've still got Shay Charles against Leeds. Max Lowe got you 4 points. Valerie got you 4. Shay Charles got you 4. Jamal Lowe and Pato 1 each. 14 points. Low scorer against Leeds, as you can imagine. Bernard got Jake 3. Beadle got Jake 3. Ingleson got Jake 1. And Kabachi on the bench got him 1. 9 points in total. I only got 1.5 more points than Jake that week. I got 10.5. Valentin 1.5. Bannon 4. Iorfa was out. Josh Windass 2. Gassama 2. Ugbo 1. Then we went to Bristol City. Now, Max Lowe, in this, he only got 8 points total, but he got 6 in extras. 11 clearances for Max Lowe in that game against Bristol City.
Bloody hell.
So he got 8 points in total. Valerie got 7.5 points. There was an assist in that. Shay Charles got you 3.5. Jamal Lowe, no points. Pato, 1 point. Smith, 1 point for a total of 21 for you that week. Jake Bernard, while he was still fit, he got a goal against Bristol City, if you remember.
Yep.
He got extras of 5.5, a rating of 2, starting at 2. He got 14.5, a high-scoring week for Jake in Beadle's terms that week. Not so much everywhere else. In Bernard's case, sorry. Beadle got him 1. Ingleson got him 2. Kabachi got him 1. 16.5 total for Jake that week. Myself, Iorfa nothing. Valentin 2. Bannon 8.5 for the assist, extras and starting and rating and such. Josh Windass only 2 in that one, quite quiet. But then Gassama comes up with a 17.5 that week.
Jesus Christ.
A goal, a rating of over 8, extras galore, and he starts, so it's 17.5 there. Ugbo got 2 points that week, giving me 32 points that week. Solid week for myself against Bristol City. QPR, Max Lowe, 15 points for you.
Oh my God.
That was 10 in extras. He got over the 8 rating for 3 points, 2 for starting, and 10 in extras.
Oh my God.
Because he got man of the match along with all the other half points. So he got 10 lots of half points to get 10 overall.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
Valerie got 5.5. Shay Charles, one of his last games for you, got you 9 points with the assist there as well. Jamal Lowe, 1 point. Pato starts, gets a goal, gets a 10 overall, 10 points for you. And this is where I start to get annoyed because Smith also gets you 10 points, comes off the bench and gets a goal, doesn't he? 2 in extras, 2 in rating, 10 points. 50.5 points for you that week.
Well, I'm just enjoying it while it lasts because obviously Max Lowe's just had a season-ending injury at the time of recording.
Yes, but just.
And I've lost Shay Charles.
You only lose Max Lowe for the last run-in. In contrast to that week, Bernard got 7.5 points for Jake. Beadle got 4. Ingleson 1. Kabachi 1. 13.5 for Jake, as opposed to your 50.5. Unlucky. Iorfa, no points for me. Valentin 1. Bannon got me 11 points that week, so I got a high scorer in Bannon. Josh Windass, quiet with 3. Yasama with 5. Ugbo with 1. So even though I got 21, it was nowhere near you that week. You did very well with Bristol City. Now, this is where the players change. Armstrong comes in for you. Atuse comes in for Jake. And Palmer comes in for me. Luton Town. Max Lowe gets you 4 points. Valerie gets you 8 points. Armstrong, his debut, comes off the bench, gets 1.5 in extras, 2.5 points for you to start. Jamal Lowe, nothing. Pato, 3 points. Smith gets the goal for 10 points total, and it's 27.5 against Luton for you there. Atuse's not in the squad at this point. But he's in Jake's squad, so he only achieves 2 players that are involved, and it's Bernard and Ingleson. Ingleson gets 1 point, Bernard gets 6.5, so it's 7.5 points for Jake that week. Palmer gets nothing for me, he's not in the squad, and that's unfortunately a theme. It's just the way these wild cards can work. Valentin gets 1, Bannon gets 3, Windass gets 2.5, Yasama gets 10 points, purely because his man of the match made up 5 points of that. He got man of the match in that. And then Ugbo gets 1 for 17.5 points for me that week. So even though funnily enough, in that week, I got 10 more points than Jake, exactly, and you got 10 more points than me, exactly. So that's fun. West Brom, 4.5 points to Max Lowe. Valerie with 7. Valerie was actually one of your consistent performers. Your defense got you a lot. If I look at your tally of points over the time, it's always your defenders propping you up. Always. Armstrong, 4 points that time. Starts, gets 2 in extras. Well, 4 extras makes 2 points. You know the system. Jamal Lowe gets 1 point. Pato gets 9 points. Comes off the bench, gets a goal in that one. Smith, 3.5 points for a 29-point game for you. Jake had another 4.5 point total week. 3.5 for Bernard, 1 for Ingleson. Nobody else featured.
It's rough out here. It's rough out here for Jake.
It is, boy. I didn't have a very good week. I got 9 points that week, 20 less than you. Got 1.5 for Valentin, none for Palmer. It was the one where Bannon was starting to be out injured. So Bannon wasn't in. Windass got 3.5. Kasama got 2.5. Ugbo got 1.5. So I got 9 points that week. Swansea. Max Lowe gets 6.5 points for you with his rating, his extras. Valerie gets 7 points for you. Consistently, your defense is getting you like 15 points a week, a game, which is ridiculous. Ridiculous.
I picked well. What can I say? I picked well.
This isn't strategy. I picked Max Lowe. Max Lowe was mine for the first 2 phases. I had him stolen. Armstrong got you 2.5 points. Jamal Lowe got you 1 point. Pato got you 3.5. And Smith got you 8 because he gets a goal for a 28.5 week. Jake had 1 player available this week that was in the squad. It's Ingleson. And luckily he didn't get his lowest score because Ingleson managed to get enough points to get him 4.5 points. So he had another 4.5 point week total. Oh dear. Palmer was actually in the squad for that 1 point. Valentin 1 point. Bannon again not in the squad, so no points. But Josh Windass got man of the match. He got an assist. He got 14.5 points in total for me there. A bit of a saving grace from Josh Windass. Isama 2.5. Ugbo 2.5 for 21.5 points total. We move on to Coventry. Max Lowe gets 5.5. Valerie gets 7 for you. Armstrong gets 3 in that. Jamal Lowe 1.5. Pato 1. Just 1. And Smith 1.5. Relatively low scorers for you there against Coventry. We weren't that great. 19 and a half points for Coventry there. Jake had a low scoring week. Ingleson was the only one available for him again and got 3 points. So he had a total week of 3 points there. This is where Jake starts falling off quite dramatically.
Wait, you mean he hasn't been doing that already?
All right.
Look,
Palmer,
listen,
1 point.
while he's not here to defend himself, I'll go ham.
Valentin, 1 point for me. Bannon, 6 points for me that week. Got a lot of extras, 4 points in extras alone. Josh Windass, 1 point. Gassama, 3 points. Ugbo, 2. So across the board. You still won that week with 19.5. I got 14 points that week, but steady points there. Burnley, Max Lowe got you 4 points. Valerie got you 3.5. Armstrong got you 3. Armstrong loves to get 3 points. Jamal Lowe, nothing. Pato, 1. Smith, 2 for 13.5 points that week. Hatuse was in the squad. So was Ingleson, but they got 1 point each. Jake got 2 points that week. That game against Burnley in total. No one else available. I got Palmer not in the squad. Valentin got 1 point. Bannon got 4.5 points. Actually, the highest scorer of anyone across all of our teams. That's not great. Josh Windass, 2.5. Gassama, 3. And Ugbo, 1.5. So I got 12.5 points that week. Still a point behind you, so you are keeping that lead. Sunderland, we go to. Max Lowe got 3.5 points. Valerie not in the squad. Armstrong not in the squad. Jamal Lowe got 1 point. Pato got 9.5 points. Pato, your saving grace, starts, gets the goal, 9.5 points. Smith, no points. You got 13 points that week. Jake tied with you with just 3 players as well. 1 point from Kabachi for being on the bench. Ingleson got 9.5 points for his rating, assists, starting, extras. And Hatuse got 2.5 points in total. So both of you on 13 points that week. I just win that week with 14.5 points with 2 points from Palmer. Valentin got me 5. Bannon got 3.5. Windass 1. Gassama 2. And Ugbo 1. We move on to Plymouth. Max Lowe doing it again for you with 8 points. Valerie out of the squad again. So remember Valerie's injury, out at this point. Armstrong also out of the squad. So that's going to become a thing for you now. Low scoring at that point. Jamal Lowe, 1 point. Yep. Passo, though, again, you saving grace. He gets the goal. 9.5 points in total. Again, getting your points.
What a man. What a guy.
Smith, 1.5 points. So in against Plymouth, you got 20 points. Jake got 9.5 points that week. 7 from Ingleson, coming good for him, and 2.5 again from Hatuse. I won that week just 24.5. That was mainly because Windass getting an 8.5 and Gassama getting a 9 for their goals and assists respectively. Ugbo not in the squad. 2.5 from Bannon, 1.5 from Valentin, and 3 from Palmer. Norwich. Again, another good week for Max Lowe. 7 points, holding your defence by himself with Valerie out, Armstrong out. Jamal Lowe not in the squad at all against Norwich as well. So 3 players out for you there. Pato getting you 6 points. Smith getting you 5 points. So 18 points that week for you is one of your lower scoring weeks, which says a lot of how good your squad is.
Yep. Thank you.
Jake got 5 points that week, so you still beat Jake. He had 3 points from Ingleson, 1 from Hatuse, and 1 from Kabachi. I got 1 point from Palmer. He's tanking my defence. Valentin got 4. Bannon got 9. He got an assist in that. Josh Windass got 16.5 points.
Jesus Christ.
Because he got a goal and assist.
Yeah.
Rating, extras, starting. Gassama got 9 points because he also got a goal in that game. Ugbo got 1. So that week I got 40.5 points. So I got more than double you guys in that one, which never happens again. So I'm glad I got 1. And then we get to the last match against the other side of the city. You got 3 points for Max Lowe because he came off, but he did start. So now you have a situation where Max Lowe, Valerie, and Armstrong aren't in the squad. We'll have to assess it after the international break fully and see who's back for you, but you're going to have to make a decision on that today. Jamal Lowe got you 1 point. Pato got you 3.5. Smith got you 4.5 for a total of 12 that week. Bernard not in the squad for Jake. Hatuse got him 5.5. Hatuse's best week. Ingleson 1 point. Kabachi 1 point. Fusiri nothing. McNeil nothing. 7.5 points for Jake that week. Myself, 1 for Palmer, 4.5 points for Valentin, 2.5 for Bannon, 2.5 for Windass, 2.5 for Gassama, none for Ugbo, 13 points. I beat you by a point that week, but a low scoring week all around. It's not a very good total. So if you go off that, do you think you've won the latest phase? Do you think you got most points? How do you feel?
I think I have just.
You are correct.
Only just.
So for that phase, you got 413 points just for that phase. So for the latest phase from mid-December to the end of March. I got 376.5 points. So not too much behind you, but a fair distance.
Yep.
You want to
Oh,
guess? No. Give me a rough ballpark away how many points you think Jake got.
150 something?
Very close. He actually did better than that. He got 168.
Okay, yeah.
Your highest performer in that period was the 4th of January away, Valerie against Millwall, who got you 16 points. Jake's highest performer was 17.5 points, his extra from Beadle against Stoke on the 21st of December at home. Yeah. Do you want to know something fun?
Okay.
I did some maths. Beadle's score from that one game equals about 10.5% of his total for that entire period. God. Jake's entire point total. Beadle's one performance is 10.5% of the entire total. Tally, even. That's a bit brutal.
That's very brutal. Oh, Jesus.
I had a joint highest scorer with Gassama, 17.5 versus Bristol City on the 22nd of January at home. So that means the total so far, Jack, it will be no surprise because you were leading going into this, that you are still leading with 902.25 points.
Oh boy.
I am in catchable distance of you, but it's looking unlikely going into the final stretch. I am on 761 points, so I could have a hell of a run and catch you, but it's looking likely that you'll be our champion. And unless an absolute miracle happens, like all of our players drop, or they're just like they leave the team because they're not being paid or something, which stranger things.
Well, I mean, that's quite on brand given what looks like.
No. 406.5 points for Jake, which means you lead me by 141 points, 25 going into the final stretch, which is more than doable, I'd say, if I can catch you. Jake trails me by 345.5.
How much does he trail me by? I want to know that number. If you've got that number.
Do the maths. I haven't got the number.
That might be quite funny.
1 second. So Jake trails you by 496. It's a bit rough. But here's the wild cards, the final wild cards before, obviously, we're going to get these end of season awards, which could change things. There's going to be lots of points for nominations and lots of points for awards won. I'm going to agree them all with you. I think what we'll probably do is we'll have 25 pointers for award winners.
Yeah.
So you're probably going to get that 25 points from Max Lowe. I reckon he's going to win player of the season. But I think nominations should get 15.
I think you might have that one.
Of awards should get 25.
It might be Gassama. I think it could be Gassama, and it
might be. But do you agree with that? I think nominations for awards, so like the top sort of like 3, if we get like the polls, get 15. The winner gets 25.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so. Because we can do that for goal of the season. If we get any goal of the season contenders, we can do that for like, we could even, we'll figure all that out just to give us the final
wild card.
We could
even do defender of the season, midfielder of the season, attacker of the season. And that means
actually,
that it could
and
be
I could
fairer.
do that based off rating as well.
Yeah.
I could actually do that unbiasedly and not opinion. So what we could do actually is we could do it, give the points for the fan voted awards and the actual official players of the season, but we could also do it based on stats, because this whole thing's based on stats. Who was the highest performer? Who's got them at the time? I think, unfortunately for everyone, unless you get lucky now, Shea Charles is going to be that player that gets the midfielder.
Yep.
So you need to try and win him back. Here's where it comes into the last wild cards that we're going to play. So you have a choice. Jake had this choice as well, but he's not replied. And I think I'm going to be nice, actually, and help him out and give him the choice that I think is beneficial for him. The choice now for the final wild card. You can either swap 2 of your players. So you will drop 2 of your players. They will go into a random generator for any of the players still available in that position. Be aware that now if you drop a midfielder, there's a chance you get people like Shea Charles back. But there's also the midfielders that aren't playing. I'll have to go and do that in a second and make sure we've got everybody there. But the other wild card is you can pick one player that you currently have and double their points for the remainder of the season. So every game they play, they can get double points. Now for Jake, because he has so many players that aren't playing, I think it's more beneficial for him to drop 2 players that aren't going to play.
Yeah.
So I think we drop Fisiri and we drop probably even McNeil.
Yeah.
Because what I think is likes of Bernard could still pick up like nominations, etc. or whatever. There's an off chance, that they've played enough of the season to get something. So because Jake's losing, he gets first roll of the random number generator. And we have removed... I've made an error. And Johnson was actually in because of Fusere. We both didn't clock that last time I gave 2 wild cards, not just one. We were so focused on the January one.
Yeah.
Everyone else is correct because you had Masaba and it changed for Pato.
Yep.
I had Pato and it changed for Gassama back.
Yep.
However, Jake's new score is now this. So he's either done better or worse, but I assume probably better because I believe Johnson's played a little bit.
Yes.
This is Jake's new total, so it's not as tragic. However, if Jake had been here today, he'd have probably said, haven't I got Johnson? Which would have made my life a lot easier. Oh, mate, I need to make a better
it just adds
spreadsheet
to the
for this next
drama.
year.
It adds to the suspense. It's spicier,
There is so much crap in this document, mate. That it's because it's the first iteration of the draft, right? I need to refine it for next year.
Yeah.
But right, let's get into the wild card then. So it's actually even better for Jake because he won't be dropping Fusire. He'll be dropping, let's have a look. He's got Bernard, Hatuse, Ingleson, Johnson, McNeil, and Kabachi.
Did he say drop 2 players? You can the wild card this time. So my vote is that he drops Bernard because he's obviously not coming back, and I think he should drop McNeil as well because I don't see him.
I think that's probably a good shout. That. So we'll drop Bernard first for him. Can you get a random number generator and put 1, 2, 6 in it for me?
Number 6 will come up.
Number 6.
Number 6.
Jake has now got Iorfa, which actually is going to get good points,
better.
I think.
Yeah, that's better for him. Way better for him.
Yep. Okay, and for the attack, let me just check I've got this right. If the change of players, I believe I have. If he's dropping... Actually, I was really kind to him there. I didn't... I'm going to be actually really kind. I'm not going to put the players that we drop back into the pool, so there's a chance you get...
Yeah.
You should get a fit player, basically. Because just for context, the numbers there were 1 was Beadle, 2 was Charles, 3 was Awekwe, 4 was Famio, 5 was Otegbeyo, and 6 was Iorfa. Now for attack, we've just got 1 or 2. This is where he's going to look out. He's going to get Sissoko or Masaba.
Well, there we go.
So can you give me a random number generator just between 1 and 2, please?
1 and 2.
Yep.
Number 1.
Sissoko.
Oh.
So his squad's looking better. Now, you have an option, my friend.
Yes.
You can basically drop 2 of your players and roll for another one. Or you can double the points of 1 of your players. What do you want to do?
I want to double Callum Patterson's points.
For the rest of the season?
Yep.
That's brave. Okay.
I'm doubling Pato.
I did not think you'd do
Pato.
that. I honestly did not think you'd do that. I thought you would go for replacing your back line like Max Lowe and Jamal Lowe, who doesn't feature, and Armstrong, who's not featuring that much. But you've not. You're going for you're doubling down on
Pato. The main man. I love him. I'm doubling down on Pato.
Fair enough, mate. I've got a choice, and I've not fully decided this in my head because they've been equal performers this latter half of the season. Do I double? Because I'm doubling down, obviously. I haven't really got a good defense.
I mean,
but
you've got some players that you can really double down on, to be honest. Jesus.
Do I double? The question in my brain is, do I double down on Windass or Gassama?
Yeah, I was thinking the same
That's my
question.
choice.
You want to do a random number generator for that one?
No, because I think Windass has got more points over the season, but Gassama's that player. I'm going to double Gassama's points because he's more likely to get man of the match because he draws the game to him when he has a standout performance.
Yeah.
So for the rest of the season, I'm going to double Gassama's points. So now this is going to be very interesting for that last run. The last run of fixtures for Sheffield Wednesday. We have 8 games and then we will know the winner of the first ever Talking Wednesday draft. I've got 140 odd points to catch you. Are you feeling confident?
I think I am. I think I can just do it. Only just, but...
Fair enough.
Do we think that Jake can catch you, though?
He's got some good players now.
I think Ingleson's a bit of a dark horse for him, actually. I
think the fact he's got Iorfa there with Bernard's injury and Iorfa coming back and being strong and Hatuse getting game time, that means he's going to get points from his defence. Ingleson and Johnson in the midfield, if Johnson obviously plays a little bit more. Sissoko and Kabachi up front. Kabachi's usually a one-pointer. He's usually making the bench. We'll see. But Sissoko, he'd have probably been better if he'd have got Masaba, maybe over Sissoko.
Yeah.
But we could see him feature more in these last 8 games. So let's see what happens. It's going to be an exciting one. Who will get their hands on the Talking Wednesday draft trophy? We will find out in the last draft update, which will be at the end of the season. But guys, take care, and we will see you in the next update of the Talking Wednesday draft.
See you soon.